Hi, this is Oli Welsh and welcome to the Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls beta test. We've got my level 55 Demon Hunter loaded up here, and when I press start game I have no idea what's going to happen next. That's because I'm playing adventure mode. This is the new mode in the Reaper of Souls, which runs parallel to the campaign you know and love, or perhaps the campaign that you know and are thoroughly bored of now. And what it does is it generates randomised jobs for you to do right across the whole of the game. You can see all 5 acts have adventure mode bounties open in them. Let's go to Act 2 because it's got some bonuses active at the moment. All of these bounties at the moment are to kill unique sort of boss monsters. We're going to go and kill Magda the Witch, one of the bosses from the original game in Alcanus. There's other stuff that you can do in adventure mode though. Typical bounties are to find and kill a unique who might be wandering around any of the areas in the game, to go into one of the dungeons and completely clear it out of all of the monsters in it, to play one of the events in the game that are randomly generated, but of course if you've got a mission you are guaranteed to get that event. So there's a good variety of stuff to do, although obviously all of it involves killing many monsters, because this is Diablo after all. Typically one of these bounties will take anywhere between like a couple of minutes and 10 minutes to complete. The longer ones are because you're wandering around one of the larger areas in the game trying to find the monster you're trying to kill or the dungeon spawn. But on other occasions I've spawned, for example, in the graveyard in Act 1 and been stood right next to my mark, and I've taken him down and been able to instantly go to the map, walk to a new waypoint and start the next bounty. So it's very, very fast paced. Also, I don't know if this is true, and again, as with everything, this is very much a beta test, so it may change. But I feel like the density of monster spawns, particularly of spawns of champion and unique enemies, is quite a lot higher in adventure mode. So generally speaking, it has a faster paced and a more frantic mood than playing the campaign.
My hatred is too low.
Now you get rewards for playing adventure mode. You're rewarded with these, I forget their name, but they're sort of chips of a special currency. There's a couple of new vendors that you may have noticed when we were back at camp just then. And with those you can exchange those chips for random items of equipment, like a random helmet, a random weapon or whatever. You have a chance of getting good items that way. It's kind of like gambling. It's like just putting your coins in a slot machine and seeing what comes out. Or you can exchange 100 of the chips for a Haradrim cache. You'll also get one of these as a reward for completing all of the bounties in one act. In fact, when I started playing, you got one every time you completed a single bounty, and then you got a big one when you completed all 5, which was perhaps a little bit on the over-the-top side. These caches are really fun to get though, by the way. They're a little purple bag which you get in your inventory, and when you right-click on it, it just fountains loot all over the floor, and then you have to scrabble it all up and put it in your bag. But you'll often get some pretty decent rewards from those. But the real reward from adventure mode really is it's a new way to play the game. It's really fast-paced, it's really fun. You can use it for leveling, and you will level up really fast. You'll make good progress, and you'll get good loot. Without having to trudge through those acts of the campaign that you've done so many times before, playing through the various difficulties on the vanilla version of Diablo 3. A word about difficulties, by the way. The difficulty system has changed. We no longer have... oh, here we are. We're ready to take on Magda. Yeah, no cutscene. That's what I like. Straight to the killing.
I need more hatred to do that.
Oh, now I'm pretty sure that never happened with Magda before. So the bosses have had some tweaks. Uniques and bosses, by the way, will also spawn in new places. This is when fighting Magda where you always do. But you might well encounter her in a completely different spot in a Nephilim Rift. I'll get to those later. and uniques will be found all over the map in different places to where they are in the campaign. So you really get a sense of hunting them down and not knowing exactly where you're going to find your bounty. I was talking about difficulties. In the build of the game at the moment, the traditional, normal, nightmare, hell and inferno modes have been stripped out. Instead you've got normal, hard, master in difficulty modes that are similar to the difficulty modes they had on console, in addition to hell and nightmare and so on. So it seems like at the moment you're not going to have that thing where you unlock a new difficulty by completing the campaign on the previous difficulty. You can switch between these more or less at will at the quest select screen, so you can really adjust the difficulty of the game to suit how well equipped you are at the moment. I'm playing on normal. I'm getting a fairly easy ride of it because although I don't have any spectacularly good equipment on my Demon Hunter here, I have replaced pretty much everything that she had from the vanilla game with loot from Reaper of Souls, which is generally a good deal better. It's not just with loot 2.0, as Blizzard is calling it. Yay, she's dead. Loot! Let's have a quick look at what we've got. Oh, new bow. Oh, all green numbers. I like the look of that. Let's equip it. So yes, loot in Reaper of Souls. Generally speaking, it's a really big step up, even at the same level. Not only are you dropping better quality items, and they're much more likely to be suitable for your character. You can see as I mouse over here that the stats are good, and that also a number of their items there had specific damage bonuses to specific Demon Hunter skills, like my Sentry, like my Multi-Shot, which happen to be skills that I use a lot in my build. So that's not only is the loot more powerful, but it will also steer the way that you play the game, because you will find that a new piece of loot with a great bonus on a skill that you don't lose, it will encourage you to try that skill and to use the wonderful, flexible skill system that Diablo 3 has. Now, we are in an FLM Rift. This is a completely randomised dungeon. You pick up these things called Rift Keystones as you adventure. And for each of these, you can go to that obelisk thing in camp, and you can open a portal to a new Nephilim Rift. This will be a dungeon with a tile set that could be from anything in the game. Here we seem to be, I think, in the sewers from Act 2. But you may notice that all the monsters aren't belong in the sewers. In fact, these are sewers from Act 5 from the new act in... monsters from Act 5, the new act in Reaper of Souls. So, Nephilim Rifts are really fun. They're hard, the monsters in them are very densely packed, and they're quite tough, and if you're not paying attention, like I wasn't there, you can be taken by surprise, but that really was just a lapse of concentration, to be honest with you. But yeah, they are completely random. I played one that had 6 floors, and every floor had a different tile set. Or sometimes they have the same tile set, but they'll change the visual settings on it, so the lighting and the mood will be different on each floor. And you can see there's a bar on the right there that's counting up. What I've got to do is just keep killing and killing and killing until I can fill that bar. At that point, a boss will spawn. Now this will be a boss from anywhere in the game, but one of the genuine act bosses, although renamed with some generic name. On the first Nephilim Rift I played, it had, like I say, it had 6 floors, and I ended up fighting that giant cow with the axe from Whimsyshire, which was in, I think it was in a map based on the cathedral levels from Act 1 of the game, so it was completely random. It's very odd, and it makes no sense, but it's a kind of a nice recognition, I think, of the fact that in Diablo, you don't really care, you just want to murder huge numbers of monsters. And let's be honest, the story and its cohesiveness was never really a great strength of the game. It's all ridiculous, over-the-top, dark fantasy nonsense. Yes, let's hoover up some more stuff. You'll notice that I'm picking up low quality loot. You may wonder why I'm not just leaving it on the floor. That's because of a change to the crafting system in Reaper of Souls, where low quality loot can be salvaged, and it salvages this sort of basic material, which is actually used in most of the crafting recipes. So you are now going to have to pick up the trash. So that means that you fill your bag quicker, and you're going to have to make more regular trips to town. Which, to be honest, when playing campaign acts, is a little bit of an annoyance. But in adventure mode, it really isn't a problem because this mode is so fast-paced. You're going to be, you can go back to town in between every bounty or every floor of your Nephilim Rift if you want to do your salvaging and your shopping, and you're dyeing your costume to make it look better than it does right now. I've been really enjoying the loot. I've got to say it's certainly better than it was in the original Diablo, where it was so rare to pick up anything you could even use on your class, never mind something you wanted. Oh, now this is a pylon. I don't have sound effects on it yet. I'm now running around super fast. Pylons are like the shrine buffs you get in the original game. Oh, must kill Treasure Goblin. Never mind all these other guys. Yeah, they're like the shrine buffs, but they're way more powerful. So I've got a full like 100% movement speed buff in this. In another one, you get like lightning that arcs out of you and kills monsters all over the place. You can get huge damage bonuses and stuff that is just really cool and over the top and fun to play. It's the ethos of Diablo that I've always really enjoyed, is that it's just completely over the top and all overpowered all of the time. It was always a little bit disappointing in the first Diablo 3 how that, which was very much true of the character classes, wasn't quite matched by the loot system and by the way that you would often have to trudge through the game a bit. But I feel like Reaper of Souls, from my time on the beta, has fixed that wonderfully. Like, this adventure mode is the best thing, and obviously Loot 2.0 is really effective as well. Yeah, as I was saying, it's not as over the top as the loot as it is in the console game, which, if anything, I think was a really took it a step too far. I had a session of the console game the other day. I was playing in co-op, and we had, I think, 3 legendaries drop inside 40 minutes, which is just silly. I, at this stage, haven't had any legendaries drop on this character, but I have come across a few in a week's playing on the beta, which is, I think, more or less where you want it. You do want to feel like you can get one if you're putting the hours in. Whereas in Diablo 3, you could go for dozens and dozens of levels without seeing a single legendary item. Oh, I'm getting a little bit hammered in it. I think I can take it, mate. Good stuff. Nice. So you'll notice that I'm getting a lot more yellows. Like, a lot more. That's rare quality items. As I run around, I'm quite liking the sparkly effects on my new game. So yeah, that's adventure mode really. Super quick to play bounties that are quite varied and that will have you dotting around the map, revisiting areas from the game, but not outstaying their welcome. And these terrific Nephilim Rifts, which are completely randomised and really have that feel of a randomly generated game where you don't know what's going to happen next, which was something that was a little bit lacking in the original version of Diablo 3. I hope you enjoyed this quick look, and let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see in the Reaper of Souls beta, and I'll see what I can do. And thank you very much for tuning in. For more on Diablo 3 and all sorts of gaming goodness, do give us a subscribe on the Eurogamer.net YouTube channel. Thanks for watching very much. Bye!